Neutral is in the middle of the invisible box. This is a very useful exercise to train your horse to how to find neutral with their head in the middle of the halter and at the same time have their feet in the middle of the mat. The intention is to try and align your eye-hand coordination to help your horse to find where do you want me to stand where there's no pressure, because what we land up doing is we're constantly trying to control the horse all the time, and so the halter keeps doing this and the horse keeps trying to find, but where's neutral, because you keep moving it. If you can in your mind like hold it really nice and steady, and she can go, oh wow, so when I just stand still in the middle of the mat with both my feet, my head is also in the middle of the halter. This halter is self-centering, so it wants to hang in the middle of your horse's head. And what I'm going to do is, if I need for Callie to step forward, I'm going to apply pressure behind her head by taking the pressure, bringing my hand this way to put pressure on top of her pole to let her know there's something behind you. If she steps forward and it wasn't my intention for her to step forward, I'm going to apply pressure from the front to let her know there's something here, so she feels pressure from the front. If she swings her head this way, I'm going to move the halter this way to let her know there's something here on this side of your face. And if she moves her head this way towards the stable door, I'm going to use the halter this way to bring her head back to the middle. So fundamentally there's 4 sides to this invisible box, and neutral is in the middle. So initially, before we even try and go to the mat, what I would like to do is just help her to find neutral in the middle of the halter to start off with. So that's the first step, is just to say, every time you hold your head steady in the middle of my invisible box, I'm going to say yes. Just do that there. Very nice. And once that's working really well, now I'm going to try one step at a time to see, can I get it to approach this mat and try and at least step towards it. So I'm going to try and see, can I get it to put her left front foot towards the mat. And then I'm going to mark the desired response by making the TSK sound and then giving her motivation. So we're going to ask her again. I needed to come a little bit closer to the stable door, so I'm going to use the halter a little bit over this way to see if I can get it to move her. That's nice. Well done. Another way to think of it is the game of warmer or colder. When someone hides money or something and then you have to play the game, and when they move towards it, you say warmer, warmer. And when they move away from it, you go colder, colder, colder. So every step of the way, I need to let her know, yes, you're doing well, yes, you're doing well, because she can't mind read. And often horses are a little bit worried about this mat on the ground, so why would they want to go and stand on it? So, but if she starts thinking, it's really interesting. Every time I step towards this green mat on the ground, I hear that TSK sound and I get paid for it. So I think I'm going to want to go and stand closer and closer and closer. And then we're going to try and move the left front foot. So I'm applying a little bit of pressure behind her head. And the moment she steps onto this, like, that's obviously what we want. So I would like to make that very clear. And the way that I do that is to, it's still there. So I'm still letting, well done, still there, have a reward, still there, well done. So she's in a very simple way starting to go, it's interesting. As long as my foot stays on the mat, there's no pressure on my head. The moment she steps off the mat, I'm going to apply pressure to let her know, no, I don't want you to step off the mat. So I'm going to use pressure as feedback when she steps off the mat, and I'm going to release when she's on the mat. We are actually using pressure as feedback to let her know if she moves away from the mat, no, that's not what we want. And we use release as feedback to let her know, yes, this is what I want. And then to make the yes even that much more clear, I now can mark the desired response of her stepping with her foot on the mat and then incentivize her with a reward. So I'm going to do that again. Very good. So I'm going to try and now ask her, can I move your right front foot as well? And even if it does take a little bit of repetition, so there she overshot it, so I'm going to apply pressure, I'm going to push the halter that way. pressure as feedback. No, I didn't want you to overshoot it. And then can I ask her to move her shoulders towards the stable door? So I'm using the halter to move her shoulders towards the stable door. If she swings a hind quarter, and this is a really important one, if you're backing a horse out of a horse box, if the hind quarter comes to your right, you need to move the head in the same direction as the hind quarter. If the hind quarter swings to your left, you need to move the head to the same side in order to help the horse to straighten out. So this is a very good exercise to develop your coordination and your horse's coordination. So we start playing with her feet, because I would like to train her that I can influence her feet by moving her head around a little bit. There I release. So she's a little bit unsure where exactly is neutral. Release. So every time she takes a step, I'm going to release. I don't want to reward her away from the mat. I just want to let her know I don't want you to push on the halter, and then come back towards the mat. That's better. Towards the mat. So we're going to try and move the right front foot. And the moment she says, oh wow, so when I feel pressure on the back of my head, do you want me to move my right front foot? And the answer is yes, DSK, have a reward. And right front foot over to the right. Now move the left front foot. We just keep playing this game. Forwards and backwards, left or right. Forwards or backwards, left or right. And the more she recognizes, every time I try and touch the mat with my feet, at the same time you let go of the halter. So as much as I'm training her to put her feet in the middle of the mat, she's training me, let go here, let go here. So I'm going to do that again. That's very nice. And you can see when your horse is going to try and put their foot in the right place. So I'm sure you've heard that we talk about reward the smallest thigh. This exercise is amazing for helping you to spot the smallest thigh. So even if she just touched the mat with one of her two front feet, we can now mark that smallest thigh to say, yes, that's what I want. Have a reward. She's like, wow, this is amazing. All I have to go and do is stand with my both front feet on this pressure pad in front of my human vending machine. And as long as I stay on the mat with both front feet, the M&Ms, there we go, the M&Ms just keep popping out of this human vending machine. It's amazing. And now half an answer that Callie can learn for herself is better than a whole answer that Jenku can give her. So this is why every 5 to 12 seconds, I mark, because she's still standing in the middle of the mat, and she's still in the middle of the invisible box of the halter around her head. And we just keep letting her know, you're doing well, every 5 to 12 seconds. Because chances are, once she actually really understands that this is what we want, you won't even have to take the halter and move her around with the halter. She's going to see the mat, and she's going to go and put both front feet on the mat, because she now knows if I stand with both front feet on this mat, it's like a pressure pad in front of a vending machine. As long as you stand on the pressure pad, the food keeps popping out of the machine. It's amazing. Well done, Callie. That is really cool. Very nice. So, neutral is in the middle of the invisible box.